Bienvenue to Bonjour Paris Live. Our online event series, free for Bonjour Paris members, offers expert lectures, discovery talks, and conversations about la vie française. In between your trips to France, we're here to inspire you. Bonjour Paris has been online since 1995, almost as old as the internet itself. Our website is packed with interesting articles about the culture and history of Paris. And now, thanks to the support of our growing membership base, we're able to showcase new offerings like video and online talks. For details about all the benefits of Bonjour Paris membership, visit our membership page on our website. Enjoy today's presentation and à bientôt!
Bonjour everybody, welcome, bienvenue to Bonjour Paris Live. I am Sylvia Davis, cultural editor for France Media and your host today for a talk with Jeffrey T. Iverson, who will guide us along Rue Montorgueil in the first and second arrondissement of Paris. In part one, we already visited the landmarks and restaurants that help recount the neighborhood's delicious history back to the Middle Ages. If you missed that one, it's already on the Video Hub, so you can watch it not now, afterwards, on the bonjourparis.com website. And today, in part two, we learn about the cheesemongers, delicatessen, pastry shops, and historic eateries that have ensured Rue Montorgueil remains a food destination. I will now invite Jeffrey to join us. Hi, Jeffrey.
Hello.
Lovely to see you.
Great to see you too, Sylvia.
We are so excited. We loved part one, so we're very excited for part two. Let me introduce you in case anybody missed part one. Jeffrey T. Iverson is a graduate of NYU's Institute of French Studies and School of Journalism, who has called Paris home since 2000. His stories have notably appeared in France Today, Time, Centurion, and Departures magazine, among others. Jeffrey has also profiled a selection of Parisian streets for sister publication France Today magazine into a special edition called Discover Paris, available on francemedia.shop. And with that, over to you, Jeffrey.
Thanks so much, Sylvia. And bonjour, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. Let's get started. In 1860, Life magazine sent a photographer to capture a last glimpse of Les Halles after it was decreed that the Les Halles food market would be transferred to the suburbs. In 1969, all the merchants left, 20,000 people. And two years later, the pavilions were demolished, leaving this gaping hole behind. So what happened next? Well, politicians tried to make Les Halles into a new temple of modern commerce, and they created an underground shopping mall on this site. Jacques Chirac, when he was mayor of Paris, he inaugurated it in 1979, naming it the Forum des Halles. Unfortunately, it didn't age very well, and the neighborhood developed a reputation for petty crimes and became a little bit shady. In a bid to revitalize the area, the whole forum was revamped, and a new mall was created with a vast green canopy in 2016. Today, the Forum des Halles is the most visited commercial center in France, with 50 million visitors a year. So whatever you think about this giant, like manta ray green sea monster thing in the middle of Paris, I think everyone can agree it is an improvement on the previous forum, and the neighborhood certainly has been revitalized today. But for us, the pressing question is the one we asked at the end of our last webinar, which is what remains, if anything, of this whole Parisian gastronomic world that flourished here around the Les Halles food market for 800 years. Thankfully, the answer is quite a bit. For centuries, restaurant owners and chefs from all across Paris would come to Les Halles to buy their produce. And you can imagine just how many other businesses were created here with culinary professionals in mind. And today, you walk around the Les Halles neighborhood, and especially up and down Rue Montorgueil and Rue Montmartre, and there is this concentration of specialty shops that continue to draw chefs from across the city. But I would wager that what has also kept these businesses here is the explosion of food culture in general, and this desire among amateur chefs and foodies to make increasingly complex dishes and desserts at home. So today, shops like Dehillerin, which was founded in the 1880s to sell cutlery and ceramics and cookware to professional chefs. Well, today it's full of foodies who want their own set of copper pans or giant egg whiskers. It's an amazing historic shop, and it's far from being the only place in the neighborhood offering these kinds of products. Just up the street from on Rue Montmartre, you find Simon, which has been supplying the hotel and restaurant industry with tableware in particular since 1884. They made their name notably with porcelain and ceramics, as you see from the vintage signage on their former location, which is just across the street from where they are today. Today, they've expanded to offer all sorts of cooking equipment as well, from like ultra traditional items like these authentic cast iron cook cuts or casserole dishes from Stohrer in Alsace, or like these tin Madeleine molds like Prue's grandmother probably used, but also like top-end knives, like this line of Japanese cutlery used by the 3-star chef Michel Bras. So Dehillerin and Simon are among the most famous, but it's not even the oldest cooking and kitchen supply business in the neighborhood. That would go to Mora, which was founded in Les Halles in 1814, and today has this vast new showroom for their top of the line collection. And then just a few doors away from there is the most recent arrival, TOC. TOC, T-O-C, is a French acronym, which is the equivalent of OCD. So apparently this is a shop for anyone with obsessive culinary disorder, the compulsion to stock your home kitchen with the latest high-end cookware and culinary gadgets. If your real culinary passion is for pastry making, all of these shops do have plenty to offer. But the real expert in this domain is Deco Relief, or Relief. It's a business that was founded in Dijon more than 40 years ago, which is today beloved by pastry chefs and amateurs. They started off in 1984 as a manufacturer of food coloring and molds for pastry and chocolate making. But today, as the demands from pastry chefs are ever more complex, Deco Relief has become a real leader in this industry, coming up with these amazing molds for all these crazy pastries we see today. Besides their large Montorgueil shop, they also have an entire second shop just around the corner on Rue Montmartre. So while the Les Halles market is long gone, there are still numerous reasons for chefs and restaurants owners to come to this neighborhood. You even find butcher shops that cater primarily to restaurants still situated here, like the L'Entrecôte Saint-Eustache on Rue Montmartre. And then on the other side of the Forum des Halles, you have the Obilo des Halles. The oldest and one of the most reputable addresses in the neighborhood is a butcher shop on Rue Montorgueil called Boucherie Triboulet. You'll recognize it by the painting of a buck deer. See this right here on the facade, which has been hanging there since the Triboulet family founded the shop in 1927. Today, Nathalie Triboulet represents the fourth generation of the family to run the shop. And Triboulet is dedicated as ever to bringing to Paris the best meats from every region of France. And it's all the regional specialties are there, poultry from Bresse and Châlons, or veal from Corrèze, or lamb from Limousin, or charcuterie from Corsica. Well, they're also, really showcasing the savoir-faire of French butchers with numerous very rare preparations. 21 years after Triboulet opened, one of the neighborhood's other famous institutions was founded on Rue Montmartre, and that was Foie Gras Luxe. And it was in 1948 that this agricultural family from the Landes region in southern France decided to open an outlet in Paris to bring their foie gras and ducks to the capital. And today, the same family is still running the business, bringing gourmets their celebrated foie gras, but also other delicacies like caviar and tarama and pâte nègre sausage and truffles. The timeout guide calls Foie Gras Luxe the most hidden épicerie fine or gourmet shop in Paris, and that's because this side street shop that we're looking at here was traditionally down this corridor, which unfortunately right now is under construction. The old historic shop and back will open up again soon, and it's definitely worth a visit. It's even before the Vigneault family opened up this business in 1948, there was already gourmet food importers in this space, at least since the 1850s. So it's a real historic space and not very well known outside of the professional world. 3 years after Foie Gras Luxe opened, one of my favorite shops in the neighborhood was founded in between Rue Montmartre and Rue Montorgueil at 58 Rue Titon, and that's called J de Trou. Literally, J de Trou stands for Gérard de Trou, the name of the founder. But what's funny is that it's also a play on words. In French, it sounds like J'ai de tout, I have everything. And when it comes to pastry and culinary supplies, they literally do have everything. And everything they sold is sold at wholesale prices, even if you're only buying one item. So it's remarkably it's a remarkable place to go for the selection they have, but also for the prices. That goes for all the ingredients you need for professional pastry making, from chocolate to pistachio cream. But it also applies to all the regional specialties they sell from every corner of France. From you see violet bonbons and cherries and liqueur, the best Dijon mustard. I come here every year to buy all my Christmas presents for my family. And then just next door to here, they have an annex where you'll find an exquisite array of savory delicacies, from salmon to foie gras to caviar. All these wonderful supply shops, cooking supply shops, are only part of the reason why Montorgueil and Les Halles neighborhood is a mecca for chefs and foodies. It's also because of the actual pastry shops here, which literally span from the oldest in Paris to the most cutting edge. The anchor of them all, of course, is for the neighborhood is Stohrer, which has remained at 51 Rue Montorgueil since it opened in 1730. The decor has not changed since the 19th century, but the recipes have a bit. Even their famous baba dessert was tweaked in the 19th century by Stohrer's descendants, who replaced the Malaga wine with rum, thus creating the modern baba rum. And every pastry chef through the years to head the kitchens at Stohrer has brought their own recipes and improvements, including Geoffrey Kahn, who is a chef who learned his trade as an apprentice at Stohrer, and then left to work in Michelin-starred restaurants for a time, and then returned to Stohrer to become the head pastry chef. And he really oversaw the revival of the shop, especially after it was acquired in 2017 by the Dolphy family. Now, the Dolphy family has been buying up some of the oldest addresses for sweet tooths in France, including the oldest confectionery shop in Paris, à la Mère de Famille, which was founded in 1761, a few blocks up on Rue Montmartre. Today, Stohrer's passion fruit pastries, which you see here on the left, and their lime tarts and their eclairs are all phenomenal. An expert on the subject of eclairs informed me that their eclair is one of the best in Paris. It was the Dolphy family that opened up a new à la Mère de Famille shop in an old boutique on 82 Rue Montorgueil. And so they brought all these fabulous chocolates and pâtes de fruits and calissons from Provence, all these specialties to Rue Montorgueil. And after the chef Geoffrey Kahn had worked several years with the Dolphy family to help revitalize Stohrer, in 2022 he left to start working for himself. And where would he open up his eponymous pastry shop but just up the street in a beautiful historic building at 73 Rue Montorgueil, the former Café Billard. His aesthetic in his desserts I find truly unique. His pastries are sometimes very natural and raw in appearance, and then other ones are very geometrical. People come for the pastries, but but they also come for the viennoiseries. And it's a great place to come and sit down with a coffee and a croissant or a babka and just take in the street. Nowadays, Montorgueil is seeing many prestigious food brands trying to come in and open up a shop here. Um, uh, Pralus, for example, opened a boutique here not long ago, bringing their savoir-faire in bean to bar chocolate making, from which they developed in Rouen, France. They also actually have their workshops located around the corner on Rue Bachemont. They're workshops for Paris. Pralus is best known for its praline, which is this incredible brioche invented in 1955 by Auguste Pralus. It's ultra dense and buttery, and it's filled with these pink pralines, the famous pink caramelized almonds of Lyon. I really think it should be on everyone's foodie bucket list. It's amazing. Around a decade ago, the country's leading pastry magazine, Food de Pâtisserie, crazy about pastries, decided that they wanted to create a boutique dedicated to France's pastry avant-garde. And naturally, they decided to open it on Rue Montorgueil, just a few doors down from Stohrer. Here, every morning, pastries arrive from a dozen chefs from all across Paris and in some cases from across France. So it's a celebration of the revolution in the French pastry world that you can taste all in one place. Very unique. I've never seen another shop like it in Paris. It's fitting that we have, shops on Rue Montorgueil offering the latest creations from the city's top chefs. Throughout its history, Rue Montorgueil has been this place where you come for the most exceptional and exotic delicacies. When you enter the street from the north and just walk a few steps down under the trellis arch, you'll notice this 19th century ceramic sign on a building on your left across the street from Pralus. It's pretty shocking to modern eyes to see this image of a shirtless black man serving coffee to a white colonist. It's a reminder that in the mid-19th century, this sign was hanging above a boutique that sold rare products imported from French colonies, like chocolate, coffee, and tea. And now, almost 2 centuries later, you have Venchi, which is one of the most famous chocolate and gelato makers in Italy, which was founded in 1878, which has opened up in the same historic boutique. For me, walking down a street like this and stumbling upon a fascinating old facade and something delicious to eat as well is the kind of pure pleasure that drew me to Paris. It's what drew Honoré Balzac here as well. 2 centuries ago, every time he came to the restaurant au Rocher de Cancale, as he wrote in 1843 in La Comédie Humaine, to find Paris again. Do you know what it means, dear Parisians? It is to find the cuisine of Rocher de Cancale, as prepared by Borel for gourmets so lucky to appreciate it, where it only exists on Rue Montorgueil. Remarkably, Au Rocher de Cancale still stands today. Its wood and plaster facade was recently completely restored. don't expect the transcendent cuisine of Balzac's days. But having said that, I've enjoyed perfectly enjoyable meals, and most importantly, the oysters are still very fresh. And but you might just go and order an espresso and a creme brulee, just so you can sit there and soak up the ambiance. And definitely, if you're hungry for ambiance, you will be very well served on Rue Montorgueil. The richest ambiance of all is still found at Les Escargots, with its beautiful Second Empire decor. It goes without saying there's no greater temple to the dish of Les Escargots. They serve them traditionally with garlic and parsley butter, but they also serve them with foie gras, and truffles, and you can even sometimes get them with flakes of 24-karat gold sprinkled on them. And, it is a place where you, in this ambiance, you almost feel compelled to splurge. And if you are going to enjoy a dish of caviar or a really decadent dish like boeuf rossini in Paris, it might as well be here, where Sarah Bernhardt and Proust and Salvador Dali all once came for celebrations. Leal has always been a neighborhood that never slept. That started in part, because you had these chefs coming here to buy their meat and fish and produce for their restaurants before sunrise, who would then also come after their shift to have a meal in one of the neighborhood's 24-hour restaurants. Of course, probably the most legendary 24 restaurant in Leal is the pied de cochon. It remains a beautiful transporting place to experience a meal. Having said that, I tried their famous pig's foot, and I must admit I was a little disappointed. It was not very gourmand as a dish, but perhaps I would have been better off trying one of their specials. They have some special seasonal dishes that come out only in the winter time. They sometimes serve this wild boar pie. But, maybe the best thing to do is just, if you're going to go to Pied de Cochon, is just to enjoy the quintessential late night dish of Leal, with just a bowl of French onion soup. For really high quality traditional French cuisine, 24 hours a day, you might be better off heading to the other side of the Forum Leal, where you'll find Chez Denise, which is this restaurant with a huge reputation, where chefs and night owls have been coming here for decades for late night meals. It's this restaurant with checkered tablecloths and jovial waiters and an ancient wood beam. It's yet another profoundly transporting address that reminds us what the belly of Paris was all about. The same could be said of Le Cochon à l'Oreille, which is on Rue Montmartre. It's an address that is so steeped in old Paris charm that it's been frequently used as a film set through the years. I can't personally vouch for the cuisine. I haven't eaten there. I've heard good and less good reviews, but the decor is definitely 10 out of 10. Especially moving is this mosaic covering the walls with showing these scenes of the lost Leal food market. Etched into one of those tiles is this moving phrase, euh, le ventre de Paris a pu émigrer, son cœur reste au Havre. The belly of Paris may have left, but its heart remains in Les Halles. So, what do we think? Has it remained? There was a time in the 1980s when this neighborhood had become, Les Halles was recently um, uh, gone. The the neighborhood was rather run down now and shady, and but then in the 1990s they started making a number of the streets, including Rue Montorgueil, semi-pedestrian, and that really launched something for the entire neighborhood, and it began to be revitalized and gentrified, and the real estate prices started to skyrocket, and it's in part because of this that the neighborhood has become so attractive, uh, that now you will find these old businesses thriving, like the one just across the street from Le Cochon à l'Oreille, uh, Le Comptoir de la Gastronomie. This is a business that was founded in 1892, and the facade and decor has hardly changed at all. It's a delicatessen that offers an amazing array of wines and cheeses and pâtés and prepared dishes which you can take home. But Le Comptoir has evolved, and now you can also enjoy all these delicacies on site as well, in their wine bar and in their restaurant space. It's it's the kind of it's this kind of historic address that is, I think, keeping the spirit of the neighborhood alive today, and ensuring that it remains one of the great foodie destinations of the French capital. Les Halles is not a bustling food market anymore. It's gone, but it's a verdant, sunlit, and rather welcoming place now. And it's a place that I think a true flaneur like Balzac would have enjoyed exploring. And that is definitely is true for, Rue Montorgueil and the surrounding streets, which remain really ideal walkways for exploring and savoring, at your own pace without being worried about being run over by a truck. They're places where you can discover historic architecture and far more shops and restaurants than I've mentioned today. It's a neighborhood that's full of wonderful cafe terraces that's perfect for people watching. And yes, it's a neighborhood where everyone can find the dish that they're longing for. I hope that you guys too have a chance to find your dish here on Rue Montorgueil someday soon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. I think we're all just transfixed with your presentation. I kind of forget that I'm supposed to talk now. I don't know if you can see there's applause and love emojis popping up.
Thank you very much.
And we have 2 questions for now. Maybe more will come up. Feel free to ask your questions. As I said, we're all transfixed with your presentation. So many great places to visit. Now, we have 2 questions. One is, can you shop at the kitchen supply shops like Simon? Do they sell to the public or only to the restaurant trade?
Yeah, every place I mentioned will sell to the public as well. Absolutely. The pastry supply shops, Deco Relief, and J'ai de Tout and Mora and Simon. All of these are places that you don't have to be a professional to go in there until I would say, you know, most people who go in there probably aren't necessarily professionals.
So they're actually welcoming.
Absolutely.
The
Absolutely.
casual shopper. So the other question is, do you find these historic vendors like Stohrer or Les Escargots still a good place to go today, or mainly a tourism spot?
Mhm. It's a good question. I think Stohrer really the quality is there. E- e- the as far as places like Escargot, um, I have the impression that they have kept the bar relatively high at Escargot. Um, as I told you, I felt a little bit taken advantage of as a tourist at Au Pied de Cochon. Even though I went in there kind of clear eyed, you know, really, it's a gorgeous. It's an institution. It's a beautiful place, and I feed a lot on that myself. But I was not crazy about the dishes that I had there. So I would try one of the other places if if the food matters more than the ambiance for you.
Yes.
You know,
Unless it's 4 a.m. and it's the only place to go.
yeah. Boy, it's
And I think that's it for the questions. Let me just check. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. That was so interesting. And I made a few notes for myself. Can you see the emojis are still coming up? It's nothing but love and applause. It's fantastic. I was very, very personally very happy that you mentioned the praline, because I also think it should be a tourist destination in itself.
it's amazing.
It's amazing. The little brioche with the pink praline is delicious. So thank you very much, everybody. Let me bring you back to full screen. Thank you, Jeffrey, and we hope to see you back here soon for another wonderful presentation about the Parisian streets. And please join us on our next live event on November 20th with acclaimed food writer Alexandre Lobrano for an exclusive insider's tour of Paris's most exciting new restaurants and rising chefs, curated by one of France's foremost gastronomic authorities. He is being here, of course, you know Alexandre Lobrano from his previous presentations from Bonjour Paris, and you can watch his previous one on the Video Hub. And he will bring us the latest and greatest on November 20th. So until then, from all of us at Bonjour Paris, merci et à bientôt.